Hey viewers, welcome to another game with Casual Pro Gamer. Today we are doing another StarCraft 2 game between XPacT as the Protoss in the top left and Mew as the Zerg player in the bottom right. So yeah, I haven't really seen any of these two players, or either of these players, I guess. But yeah, they're supposed to be good players, and this is supposed to be a good game, so we're going to have to see how that works out for them. Anyhow, yeah, the early pylon, of course, he's going to fast expand, so kind of build some buildings over here in this, well, in this first part of the base, and then expand at some point. And because he's going to have like a forge and a gateway, cybernetics core. Most of this is going to be walled off. He's going to leave a little gap probably over here somewhere with a cannon behind it, and that is ample defense to hold off the Zerglings that would be coming in the early game. And because he defends that with a cannon and no units, he can just keep producing those units and doesn't have to use his precious resources for that, his precious supply, because supply in the early game is really valuable. And yeah, you can use all those buildings pretty well, because obviously you need gateways, you need the cybernetics core. The only thing you don't really need for the really early game is the forge, but later in the game you do need it because it has upgrades that you would want. And so yeah, building it a little bit earlier to get a good defense is not a bad plan. It actually was invented. This strategy was invented by Bisu, a Korean pro gamer from StarCraft Brood War, my personal favorite. And yeah, he was just a very good player by then, or back then, and he invented this strategy to go up against Zerg players, because Zerg players kind of had the pressure in that early game. So early game they would just completely dominate the Protoss players, so they would just send out Zerglings and just keep hammering on the front door so that they could never expand. And he invented that if you put a pylon in the right spot, put the forge with it, then you could get a cannon out and a gateway out in time to block that entire region, and the Zerglings couldn't even get in. So yeah, he did that in the finals of some really big tournament. I believe it's the OSL, which is the biggest tournament. It might also be the MSL, which is the second biggest tournament from StarCraft Brood War. And yeah, all in all, it just turned out to be, well, the best defense ever you could ever wish for against that early Zerg pressure, and therefore it was called the Bisu build. So a little bit of history there, and yeah, I learned all of that from other commentators, so I didn't really see the games where that happened until much later, when they actually had well, English commentary on them. And yeah, I didn't follow StarCraft when it only had Korean commentators, because I couldn't. I just didn't understand the game good enough, well enough, to understand what was going on, to understand the difference between, like, the winning and the losing strategy. So for me, it was just a bunch of units moving around, and although I liked playing the game, I was not like super good at it. I like playing the game because it was a fun game to play, and I like watching the battles. That's why I like being a commentator way more than playing the actual game, because I get to watch all of the fights and I get to watch what all the units are doing, instead of having to control them and basically spending all my time over here, so in my base. Because this is where the players spend most of their time. They normally just send out the units and let them fight on their own. Except for really the pivotal fights. So once they have a really big army, they start to micro the army. But these kind of actions mostly are just attack move. And if they meet something, then that's good. But if they don't meet something, they will just arrive at their destination and for example do this, attack the Nexus for no, or the hatchery for no reason, because obviously he's not going to take out that hatchery. He just sent out his scout to that position. But yeah, it's not worth your trouble to micro everything. If you're, well, if you're in that early game, it's, yeah, if you lose a unit, yeah, well, it's a shame. But most of the time, yeah, you get these kind of battles where you can just withdraw your units after. Well, after the enemy engages on it, so you have all the time in the world for those kind of things. So the Zerg player expanding twice, the Protoss player expanding once so far. He is saving up for another Nexus here. At least I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be a Nexus, because he's not really spending anything. Also, the Zerg player not really spending everything. He did build a whole lot there. Maybe something just came up and I just missed it. Hang on. What did we build? Okay, just a whole bunch of overlords coming up. Okay, that's something we normally don't see. Roaches coming up now. The Roach is very good against Protoss because Roaches deal extra damage to Stalkers, and Stalkers are the main unit for the Protoss players. Of course, these Immortals are made to deal with those Roaches, so they take only half damage from the Roaches. Well, they take only 10 damage from any attack, even if it does 100 damage. As long as they have shields up, that is. But they have 200 shields, so they can take 20 attacks before that actually becomes a problem. Of course, the Roaches do 20 damage versus armored, and they are armored. So, yeah, all in all, that is just a great amount of damage reduction, and that's why the Immortals do very well against Roaches. So these Roaches just chilling at the base, just defending, and wow, we have a Nidus network. This is called the Nidus network coming in, and the Nidus worm is going to be spawning over here. I caught it just in time to see all the units stream out. And yeah, that was an excellent, well, just snipe off this base, because he is going to get this base. The entire army is over here. He's going to have to move forward and do some damage on his own, because there's no way he can get back and defend this. This is going to get sniped. This complete base is gone. And he's going to try to hold all of these units in this base. But yeah, as you can see, even here we have pylons to snipe. Oh wow, he's going to defend his own base. Okay. So yeah, he already lost his left base here. It's the base itself isn't down, but all of the units are down. And he is going to lose that on the retreat, because yeah, this army is just going to retreat to here, then snipe this base and kill that. And look at this defense. Incredible defense with all kinds of spine crawlers. But nobody wanted to go there anyway. And man, no production at all on both sides. It is incredibly low economy for both of them. So they have to make sure that, well, they get their bases back up. And of course there is no production here, because all of these are out of power. So 5 of them out of power, and only 3 of them up. So he can warp in 3 units at a time. And more Roaches coming up, a base coming up, and yeah, just in general rebuilding, but not over here. The base is coming up over here, so still has to rebuild this first one. And the Roach Warren, yeah, it is the only thing that is right there. And is he going to snipe this? No, there's no way. So the Warp Prism doing its thing and just warping in some units, but it's not going to be good enough. He is going to retreat with the rest of his army. But look at these guys. He's just being as annoying as possible with these creep tumors, and he has to produce an observer to snipe those creep tumors. I don't know. Oh, he already has an observer. Okay. He already has that out. He just didn't have any units to fight. And yeah, he's going to clean that up. Then it's going to take a while for the creep to recede to, well, this position, I guess. Because it's going to, well, drop further and further. And now it's going to go from, now it's going to go from both sides. And he's going to have his base back. But it's going to take a while. As in quite a long time. So the last base coming up as well. And look at those those spine crawlers, man. Just building spine crawlers all over the place. Well, those are the spine crawlers that were here originally. But the Nidus network is still up. There are no units inside though. But that should not be a problem. Changelings coming in. And is he going to spot them? Because changelings, yeah, your units don't see them, and they look like your units, but they don't move like your units. So they kind of just stand there, and you obviously can't control them. So the Zerg player controls these units. The Protoss player cannot. So if he moves his army and he sees that these two guys are not moving with it, he's going to snipe them. But for now, they can see everything. Hang on. So here, you can see, they can see everything. And actually, this guy got sniped. Oh, no, it didn't. Hang on. He just rebuilt his Nidus worm, and let's see what's in it. Just one queen, really? Okay. So he just wanted to get some new creep in there, because it is so annoying for the Protoss player. But the Protoss player has his observer, and he should be able to do whatever. Yeah, large armies coming in now, and wow, actually surrendering right now already. So did he lose a base there? Yeah, he did lose a base. That's what I feared, but so yeah, let's see. First of all, he built this base, and yeah, this is where he sniped all of the creep tumors. Just not able to get that first base back up, so his main base, and yeah, that kind of cost him the game, I guess. Because he's too far behind, and the Zerg player, of course, really good at coming back from this. Okay, it's these guys that are sniping the base. Well, they don't actually snipe the Nexus. It is yeah, it's not as bad as that, but it's this yeah, it's this entire attack coming in. He knew what army he was up against because of those changelings, and he just ran in with his entire army. And knew that he would catch everything. So the Colossus going down, and he basically didn't have any army left except for this very small one over here, which actually could have held off, but yeah, probably not. He would have been too far behind anyway, because this base would have gotten sniped. All of these probes would have gotten sniped, and that's why he surrendered. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. GG.